3 years of chasing the same bear and not filling your bear tag can be enough to drive a man crazy. But Gus knows that waiting on the right bear will be worth every second of those long Manitoba afternoons. This week, we'll see if Gus can make the third time the charm and finally close the book on what could be his best Manitoba bear to date.
I just heard that bear go down. He must have went about 40 yards. You know, targeting one animal on a hunt makes that hunt so much more challenging for me. Having a history with that animal, knowing the animal that you're going after, and realizing that you're not going to take any other animal but him. And that was the case 3 years ago. I was hunting a stand that I always hunt. My cameraman and I were stuck in a storm. Storm blew in. Just as the storm was ending, we noticed off in the swamp this giant black bear. We got a glimpse of him that year, but we never got a shot at him.
We saw him from about 200 yards, and if I could see him with the naked eye at 200 yards, he's big.
So the following year, I went back, hunted that same stand. This time I was hunting alone. Look, I didn't want any extra noise, any extra scent. I knew the bear I was after. Look, if I was gonna get him, he was coming to that bait, I could run the camera myself and possibly get a shot at this bear. We had some great trail cam pics of this bear coming in at night. So I knew he was still using the bait. I just had to get lucky and be there when he showed up in daylight hours. Now, I've been hunting in this area of Manitoba for 8 years, and I've taken some really, really good bear in Manitoba. One that went over 22 inches, another one that made Boone and Crockett at 21 and 2/16. And I knew the caliber of bear that were in this area, and I knew this was another one of those giants. I just needed to get my chance at him. So for the first 3 days, I'd sneak my way in, get into my stand, sit till dark, sneak my way out, come back the next day, check the camera, and you know what? Bear was there. He was there after daylight hours. So on day 4, I'm sitting in my stand, and all of a sudden, I see him. I mean, when a bear walks in, a big bear, there's no mistaking or judging. You know that's a big bear. I always find that if I have to make a bear, well, he's pretty good or he looks pretty good, you know what? If I have to start making excuses to say that he's big enough, that he's not big enough. When a giant bear walks in, there is no mistaking it. He's a giant. I see this bear coming out of the bush. I reach to get the camera on. You know, it was another mistake I made. It was spring. I haven't been doing a lot of tree stand hunting yet that year. You know, I really get fine-tuned by the time the fall comes and you spend a lot of hours on stand. You know, usually my spring hunts in Canada for bear, you know, I haven't been doing a lot of tree stand hunting. So I had my camera arm set just a little high. I reached to go put my camera on and the stand creaked. I watched this bear lock up and moonwalk his way back. So my year ended up that bear came. He left on day 4, never got a chance at him, hunted the rest of the week, opted not to shoot any other animal but him. So I went back the following year and hunting by myself again, and this is my opportunity to possibly get a chance at this bear.
The Whiteshell Provincial Park has a robust bear population and some of the best black bear hunting in North America. Having spent many years hunting here in Manitoba, Gus has had some exciting hunts, and this past hunt is no exception.
Some stands tonight, we just walked our way in. There was a bear on the bait, a small bear. So I'm gonna shut up and see if we can get these bears to start moving. He's down right there. He's down, man. That is the most action I've ever seen on a bear stand, man. I had those 2 bear less than 10 yards away from me fighting. And this one won out when he went over to that barrel. Kind of the other bear moved off and took the shot. I saw him put his front leg forward, and that's all I needed. He's less than 40 yards away from where I shot him. What an incredible bear. First night on stand here in Manitoba with Whiteshell Outfitters. Looking at trail cams from this stand. It hasn't been hunted very often. There's a lot of bear on the stand, so I'm gonna be quiet, sit tight, and see if we can get one of these bear to come in tonight.
Manitoba is rich with a very strong and healthy black bear population. For guys who are looking for something a little different on their bear hunts, Manitoba also has an abundance of color phase bears. Unfortunately for Gus, this bear needs a few more years before he would be considered a trophy bear. But watching a nice, healthy, young color phase bear is a really nice treat for any bear hunter, regardless of your experience. Gus has a nice bear making his way in and out of the bait site. But again, Gus is looking for one bear in particular, and this bear doesn't make the cut. This cinnamon phase black bear helps pass the time in the stand, but he seems a little too comfortable feeding on the bait, which for Gus means his big bear is probably not close to this site.
You know, people make the mistake of thinking hunting over bait or a food plot or a feeder is easy. Look, mature animals don't just walk in. The majority of the time, those bears, and I've seen it in the fall, I've seen it in the spring, the bears hang up about 50, 60 yards from that bait and they lay there quietly and they listen. And they'll move and scent check all around that bait before they commit to coming in. The littlest noise, not having the wind in your favor, or a bear can smell you, you know what, it'll hold them up. I'm not saying the bear won't come in, but it'll come in after daylight because they know they're safe then. So to get a bear, a mature bear, to come in during daylight hours, especially on a bait, is really, really a tough thing to do.
Manitoba is not only a great destination to go shoot a bear of a lifetime, but Whiteshell Outfitters also offers some of the best fishing in the area.
Just like this one. Yeah, I like the multiple boat. We shot that one. It's only got one boat that 1 year.
Better than heaven, it meets all your needs. Come on now, sell my soul to soul out now. Just move my mind to Clown Gulch. Watch me reach out to read out. John knows it. I don't have to do much, no, no. Let's go fishing, John, oh, me and you. Down off over in the deep, deep blue, yeah. The sea ice floating and the whales agree. You're better than heaven, it meets all your needs. Come on now, send my soul to soul now. Just move my mind to Clown Gulch. Watch me reach out to read out, and John knows it. Well, I don't have for too much. I don't have for too much. I don't have for too much, no.
We don't need no stinking worms.
Hold them up, Daryl. Let's see that fish, Daryl.
Yeah, don't be throwing them back.
Another one in the boat. Manitoba fishing. How's that, guys?
After almost a decade spent hunting with Whiteshell Outfitters, the bonds of friendship formed here are some that will last a lifetime. Weeks spent hunting, fishing, and sharing meals together have turned a group of strangers into a family of outdoorsmen. Even though this shore lunch is a highlight of Gus's trip every year, His thoughts are on the mature, elusive black bear that has been stalking in the shadows near his stand. As Gus prepares to get back on stand, he can't help but feel as though he is hunting a ghost, an animal that has survived for 15 plus years without making a mistake can be a daunting animal to pursue. All Gus can do is keep being persistent and hope that this big Manitoba bruin will slip up and give Gus the few seconds he needs to get a shot.
I've been hunting for 3 years. Saw him 2 years ago. Never got a chance at him last year. I had a chance. He was coming in on the 4th day and the stand creaked. Spooked him off. He came back that night. He's back on this bait again, even bigger. He's been coming in the morning, so I'm thinking about maybe changing things up and getting out here in the morning. But hopefully now that we've been baiting a little more consistently, he starts coming in the afternoon and we get a crack at him tonight.
So I'm on stand, it's day 2, and this bear starts to make his way in. Listen, I waited. I said, just calm down and don't start the camera too early. You know, the way I usually hunt a bear is that camera started. The minute the bear makes the mistake, I take the shot. I don't wait for them to get to the bait barrel and smell around and maneuver. Look, when I get an opening, that bow's in my hand, I take the shot. But because of what happened the year before and the noise I made, and I knew this bear was a smart old bear, I was gonna hold tight, start the camera, but not pick up my bow. I got the bear coming in. The bear stops, he looks back towards the stand through the bush, and turns back to the bait barrel, boom, takes off. It's like somebody punched you in the stomach. This is 3 years of hunting that bear. I had the opportunity. If my bow was in my hand like I usually do, I would have got the shot. But that didn't happen because I didn't want to make any noise, and there goes the bear. So I'm sitting there just thinking, you know, what just happened, man? I can't believe I blew this. This bear knows the stand is there. He knows I'm there. He's never gonna come back. So I sit there for about a half an hour. I see the bear coming back through the bush, and all I could think of was, this is gonna be your opportunity. Don't blow it. I had a trail camera set up on video at the bait barrel. So where this bear was coming in from, I really couldn't see him that well. I could make out black coming. So the camera that I have over my shoulder, I really didn't get great video of. But the trail camera video could show exactly what this bear is doing. And it's amazing how smart they are. This bear worked his way in, kept his body covered, stayed under the canopy, and just set up. I watched him sit down, clean his paws. I mean, just sitting there, just yawning, waiting for dark to come to that bait barrel. It's amazing when you see how a bear reacts knowing that you're there. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen is those bears know you're there and they just don't want to make a mistake. That's what happens with these big, mature bear. They don't make a lot of mistakes. So I'm sitting there for a while, the bear's coming in, going back out. You know, it's pretty frustrating and nerve-wracking that, you know, is he gonna make a mistake or is he not? All of a sudden, a smaller bear comes in, he's under my stand, and he starts posturing at the larger bear. Well, I'm not sure if that bear thought, you know, that bear was gonna go for the bait, or it just made him feel more confident to come in. And right before dark, that bear comes in, hits the bait barrel, I draw my bow and let my arrow fly.
that bear go down? He must have went about 40 yards. That bear's down. I heard him go down. There he is, right on the trail. Look at the size of this bear, Daryl. Get a light on him. That's where I hit him.
Yeah.
Dow.
Yeah.
That's the side he came on. Can you get a light on him? Look at the size of that bear. Holy cow, look at this bear. He's a beauty. I better wait for some help, man. Get him out of here. Well, this is the culmination of 3 years of hunting this bear. I saw him 2 years ago and never got a shot at him. Last year he came in and I knew I was after this bear, and fourth night in he came towards the bait, heard the stand squeak, and just a little creak there, that's it. He backed out. I never got a chance at him. I got trail cam pics. I ate my tag last year and went home without a bear, and came back this year and had my heart set only on this bear, and seen some beautiful bears, some beautiful color-phased bears, and there just weren't this one. And you know, this, I can't tell you how rewarding it is when you go after one animal and you finally get it on the ground. I mean, you could watch how cagey this bear was. He came in 4 different times before he finally stepped out at last light, and I got the shot on him. He went about 40 yards, just a, you know, and it's going after one animal for 3 years, and to finally have all your plans work out and get the animal down is, it's kind of bittersweet, because I won't be hunting him next year. I won't be able to think about him all year, but I'm sure we'll find another bear to go after. And when you have your plans work out and get that animal on the ground finally, it's, I can't tell you how rewarding it is.
You know, I've said this before on other shows, you know, most television guys are all guilty of making bear sound bigger or look bigger than they actually are. Look, we've all done it. You know, what a pumpkin head, what a melon head. Look at the size of this, he's a giant. The truth is, a lot of those bears are not giants. They're good bear. I'm not saying they're not good bear, and I don't want people to take the wrong idea of that I'm trying to judge somebody else's trophy. But you set a bad expectation for people who go to a place like Canada, save their money all year, get there on that one hunt, and they know that you've shot a bear that's a giant, so every bear they shoot is going to be a giant, because it looks like every TV guy's shooting giant bears. The truth is, they're really, really hard to come by. Look, I've been hunting Manitoba for 8 years with Whiteshell Outfitters. I've taken 3 official Boone and Crockett. That means the skull is measured, sent in, registered, and I get a certificate, because that means something to me. When I'm telling you that I've shot 3 giant bear in Whiteshell, I have the certificates to back it up. These are real giants. And my buddy Mike 80 at Whiteshell Outfitters is just an unbelievable outfitter.